Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is FPL Elma. We're going to be going through my Game Week 10 team selection, my Game Week 9 team review, some transfer thoughts ahead of Game Week 10, as well as captaincy picks for Game Week 10. So before we get into that, I'd like to thank you all guys for the continued support of the channel. We're only 4 subscribers away from 850. So if you're new around here or a regular viewer not yet subscribed, make sure you hit that sub button. Make sure you leave a like and make sure you hit that bell, don't miss any content going up on the channel. Also leave a comment about your current rank before Game Week 10 starts. And with that, let's get straight into it. So I'm going to start off with my Game Week 9 team review. Managed to score 36 points. It was a poor game week, but it is what it is. I did not use my bench boost, so last video I said I'm going to use my bench boost, and I'm going to explain why in a few. Then overall points 116 and a huge rare arrow from 1.3 to 1.9 million. So we had Pope in goal, who scored 3 points. Chaloba scored one. Timber and Gabriel both kept clean sheets. Timber got 3 bonus points for 9. Saka, Semenyo, Sar, Paqueta, Haaland, Voltemade, and Pedro all blanked this game. So my only return, I don't think any of my players returned a goal or an assist, which is crazy. So I only scored that 6 points. Then going to my bench, Dubravka on 2, Senesi scoring a clean sheet 5 points. Rodon getting, I think, a goal. I mean, you're getting a goal for 13 points, and Longstaff getting an assist for 6 points. So the reason I did not use my bench boost is because Arteta came out and said that Gabriel might miss the upcoming fixture. So I thought I'd not want to risk my bench boost if I'm not going to have the full 15 players. And lo and behold, Gabriel played, scored 9 points, had massive points on the bench, and we missed out on a massive bench boost opportunity and a huge green arrow opportunity. But hey, it is what it is. We still have the chip left. We'll use it down the line, but of course, it's a missed opportunity. So now let's look at what Game Week 10 has in store for us. And before I talk about this transfer, you can see on your screen, I do apologize for any background noise, and I try my very best to edit it out. But if it's filtered through the microphone, I do apologize for that, and just bear with the circumstances at the moment. So the first transfer is Paqueta to Minte. That's the first transfer I'm thinking of doing, and just because West Ham have been very poor. I've watched the last 2 games, I think against Brentford and the one against Leeds, and they were so poor. And I think it's only tried to sell Paqueta just of the form of the team, very poor. He was a bit unlucky against Leeds. He did score, but he was narrowly offside. And yeah, even the fixtures coming up, very tough fixtures. I think it's only right to sell. And the player I'm thinking of bringing in is Minte at around the similar price range of 6 million, playing against Leeds. They have a very good fixture apart from the Crystal Palace fixture and maybe the Aston Villa fixture. I'd say the other fixtures are very good. And I was looking through the previous game weeks for Minte. It has been pulling up some good numbers. I think fives and sixes across the board. So I think it's a very decent option, very cheap as well. And I hope that he's going to give me better points than what Paqueta was going to give me. So this first transfer I'm thinking about. Now let's look at the other one. So it's not another transfer per se. It's just my thinking of another transfer is a Paqueta to NDA or NDI or whatever you want to call him. I think it's a very decent option. He's had a lot of chances in the games that I've managed to watch. But if you have the likes of Beto up top who cannot score to save his life, he's been very unfortunate with some of the chances he's put in, and the strikers cannot finish. Of course, he's on penalties at Everton. Very good fixtures in Sunderland and Fulham, even the United fixture. Very good fixtures, very good price at 6.5 million. And just being on penalties, I think, is amazing at that price. But so this is a second transfer I'm thinking about. But to make this possible, I'd have to do another transfer. So now let's look at that. So to make the other transfer possible, I'd have to do Senesi to Richards just to get the 5 million in the bank to be able to facilitate the other transfer. So I'm not so sure if it's worth it or not. And of course, a slight concern with Richards is we don't know whether he'll be available for that Brentford game. But either way, I was going to bench Senesi, and if I bring in Richards, I'm going to bench Richards, but I'm going to start in the eye. So to make that transfer possible, I have to do this transfer. Crystal Palace, very good fixtures coming up, very good fixtures on paper for clean sheets as well. So let me know down in the comments which transfer you'd like. Option A, which is just a straight transfer from Paqueta to Minter, or option B, which requires Paqueta to NDA so that I can, and Senesi to Richard. So let me know in the comments which you think is the best between option A and B. So as for now, I'm leaning towards option A. So we're going to do my game with 10 team selection with the transfer on option A in mind. So we have Pope in goal against West Ham. With the way West Ham have been playing, I expect a clean sheet in this fixture. Pope hasn't kept a clean sheet in a very, very long while, but I think this is a chance to get a clean sheet. Although West Ham do have a goal in them, I must admit that they did not look like that against Brentford, and it took them to the 90th minute to score against Leeds. So I expect a clean sheet from Pope in that fixture. Then you have Chaloba against Spurs. Honestly, I think this game is going to end a boring nil-nil. So I'm hoping for a clean sheet in that fixture. And I hope that Chaloba will be instrumental in that. A lot of DEFCON points and maybe 3 bonus points as well. And then we have Gabriel against Burnley. I've seen a lot of people going for him as the captaincy pick, and honestly, I hear it, man. I hear it because they're going to be playing Burnley. He's very good from set pieces, getting a lot of points, getting a lot of bonus points, getting a lot of assists as well, getting a lot of goals from corners. So I think it's a very decent option for captaincy picks. But in my own opinion, I'd never captain a defender because it only takes one Burnley goal to erase the clean sheet, and that's why I'm going to avoid that captaincy picks. But if you're going to captain him, I hear it and think he's a very decent captain. Then we have Timber finishing off the defensive line, just hoping for a clean sheet. Maybe this time, maybe an assist or something like that. That's the defense. Looks pretty solid. Hope we can have 4 clean sheets in there, and hope that it's going to perform. Now let's look at the midfield. So this is how the midfield is going to be looking like. Going to be having Sar in there against Brentford. Of course, Brentford have been very good this season so far, but the only slight concern is their defensive structure, where they tend not to keep clean sheets. And Crystal Palace looked very good against Liverpool, although as Slot says it was their weaker team. They still looked very, very good, and Sar managed to score a brace, so we can carry that form into the Premier League against Brentford. Then you have Semenyo against Man City, a tough, tough fixture. But if the Man City are not very good defensively, if Swansea can score against Man City, I think that also Bournemouth can do that. Of course, Bournemouth are pushing for the Premier League, so they have to beat teams like Man City, and I hope that Semenyo will be instrumental in that performance and giving Bournemouth the win. Then we have Saka against Burnley, another captaincy consideration, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. I think Saka is a very good captaincy pick. He hasn't had an assist in a very, very long time, and he's on penalties, of course. And I hope that in this game he can be able to perform. It's been a while since he had maybe a goal or an assist, and I hope against Burnley he can able to do that. I'm expecting like a 5-0 game in this, and I hope that Saka can be able to get a hat trick. Then we have Minte against Leeds. Very, very good fixture for Brighton versus Leeds. Very good, entertaining game. And I do hope that Minte will perform in that fixture against Leeds. They've been very good defensively, to be fair to them. But I hope that Brighton can be able to penetrate that and be able to score a few goals, especially Minte with a hat trick in there or maybe an assist or something. So that's the midfield. It looks full of goals and assists. Now let's look at the forward line. So how the forward line is going to be looking like. Of course, we're going to be having Haaland in there. Papers just say that Haaland is going to be fit for the fixture, so I'm expecting him to perform. Of course, Bournemouth a very strong team defensively as well. It's going to be a tough, tough fixture for Haaland, and that is why many people are not going to be captaining Man City players. And and to be honest, I hear it because Man City are not the old Man City. If anyone's going to score, it's going to be Haaland, of course. But that Burnley defense is very, very strong, so I'm not expecting a lot of goals. I think this is the only week you can go for a different captain and still be fine. Then from my own captaincy pick, I'm going to be going for Voltemade as the captain because West Ham have been very, very poor, especially on set pieces. And Voltemade is a very, very tall player. So I'm expecting a corner goal from him and also expecting maybe like a hat trick. I'm expecting Newcastle to run riot in this game, and I hope that Voltemade will be instrumental in that as he's going to be my captain for this week. But of course, that might change to someone else. And then the person next is João Pedro, the most sold player in FPL. I'm going to be keeping him because I love the fixtures coming up. Maybe I'm just holding on for nothing, but I think he's going to have a good performance in the next 3 game weeks. So that's why I'm going to be keeping him, and I hope he's going to repay me for that, for keeping him in the team. So that's the forward line. Then for the bench, we have Dubravka, Senesi, Rodon, and Longstaff. That was my team for game week 10. Looks pretty solid. Hope it's going to perform, and hope that my differential captain in Walter Made is going to perform as well. Let me know down in the comments who you're going to be captaining. ahead of game week 10. But now let's look at the captaincy picks that have gone through. So these are the three players who I think are the best captaincy options ahead of game week 10. I think Saka is a very good captaincy option because on penalties, has a lot of assists from set pieces. Although it's been a while he's got an assist from a set piece, but he's still on set pieces for Arsenal. And then we have Voltemad, who's a very tall guy facing a very poor West Ham defensive line. And I do expect Newcastle to run riot in that fixture. And I hope that Voltemade will be instrumental in that. Then the other captaincy option, of course, is Mateta playing against Brentford, who have been very good, to be fair to them, but they've been very poor defensively. They've conceded a lot of goals, and Mateta can run riot in that fixture as well. I think these are my top three captaincy picks for Game Week 10. Let me know down in the comments to be captaining anyone else rather than the players on the screen, or you're going to be going for these three players. And if you're going for any of these three players, also let me know down in the comments. And with that, it's another long video. I'd like to thank you all guys for watching. If you managed to reach this far, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you all guys later. Bye bye.